So in this video today, we're going to be opening up this Invincible player pack and this Rhythmic 10-pack box, man. And then afterward, we're going to go over every auctionable Invincible in the game and tell you guys whether they're worth their price, whether they are a card that you should be picking up, man. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. Before we rip these two, though, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on my team content like this. Don't miss out on the best MT making content on YouTube. And also, please make sure to leave a like on the video, and that's always very much appreciated. But with all that being said, let's start off with this Rhythmic 10-pack box, man, and just see if we can get lucky with something. What I really hope to see is at least a 100 overall. That would be really nice. But these free 10-pack boxes have not been great to me, as we get a Ruby Gems of the Game to Victor Oladipo. Okay. Pack number 2, we're going to see an Emerald, Julius Randle. And this is the free box from the exchange. This is not the one from the challenges. So make sure that you guys are prepared for, because we're probably going to get some GOAT Invincible type packs on Friday. So with that being said, with some of these Invincibles that I'm about to go over in this video, I would not buy them today. I would wait until Friday because I expect a giant market crash as we see a dark matter. I'm not going to complain too bad about that. I mean, it is a card from the set. It's better to see a slow shake than not to see one for sure. 97 defensive rebound. Center from Detroit. I'm not even 100% sure who this is. Okay, it's Darko Milicic. All right. So yeah, I wouldn't go out and rush. I wouldn't rush and go out and buy these cards right now. I think Friday there's going to be a huge market crash. There is going to be a Season 9, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens with that, man. For sure. Because we're on pack number 8 now. We are just not seeing much here. And that is the reason that I didn't really go crazy with these Rhythmic packs, is I would like to open a few more than just this free 10-pack box, but it would just not be smart with what we are probably going to see on Friday. We're at the very least going to see packs with increased odds. I think absolutely worst case scenario it would be packs that are VC only, which I really don't think they're going to do on a Friday drop. I don't really see that happening. But I mean, it is 2K. You never really know. As we get a duplicate, make prize balls auctionable again, 2K, please. It was so fun when prize balls were auctionable, man, and I have to quick sell this one right now, which really sucks, but I suppose it is what it is. All right, we are on to the free Invincible player pack, man, from the locker code. Who would I like to see? As long as it's not a small point guard. If it's someone who could play the 3 through the 5, that'd be preferred. Hopefully not a duplicate. I've seen a lot of people are getting duplicates out of these, which is a major L. But let's just open it up. Let's see who we can get, man. That's all that we can really do. Is you can anticipate it forever, but you really just got to crack it open to see what you are going to get, man. We have got Western 99 three-pointer. Is this a guard? Small forward? No way. This is, dude. Really, 2K? Really? Really? Man, that's a massive L. Of course, we already have them. There's no exchanges that are worth it, man. I don't want any legend badges. We're going to have to quick sell them, which really, really kind of sucks. Yeah, man, that is a big time L. And that is just because I've seen so many people getting duplicates. I wouldn't be surprised if they increase the odds in the Invincibles that have been in the event, as well as like Devin Booker, Carmelo Anthony. I've seen people pull both of those. So yeah, that is a major L. Very tempting after that to go and open up some of these packs, but I'm not going to do it, man. I'm going to hold strong, and we are going to wait until Friday. So let's start going over the Invincibles, tell you guys which ones are worth it. We are going to start off with Invincible Ben Simmons. Now, Invincible Ben Simmons has a very bad release for an Invincible. He is obviously a tall point guard. He's going to be able to lock it down on the defensive end. He is a card, though, if you can learn his release, learn how to dribble with him a little bit, he can be very good for you. He's just a card that Really doesn't have any training wheels. Like right when you start using him, you're probably going to suck with him. You're really going to have to use him for a while to get used to his release, used to everything that kind of comes with this Invincible Ben Simmons. Not anything too crazy for an Invincible, but still a pretty decent card. How much is he going for? Over 500K, definitely not worth that price. Invincible Giannis, super rare. If you happen to get lucky enough to get him in this Invincible pack or something, though, this card is insanely good, man. Um, the only thing really to complain about with Giannis cards this year is his release, but everything else on the court, man, this card is going to do at pretty much the highest level, I would say. So, Invincible Giannis is a W. John, we have a lot of undersized point guards, so I'm going to go through the undersized point guards quickly. John Wall is one of them. Derrick Rose is definitely one of them. This Invincible MJ, I had him for a little while. He was a lot better than people give him credit for, man. I will say that. Going to be able to lock down in the defensive end. Really, the only issue with this Invincible MJ is his lack of height at 6'6", and he plays a little bit smaller than 6'6", too, which kind of is a little bit of an L for this MJ card. But other than that, man, good release. Can do everything on the offensive end. Going to lock down defensively. Really no complaints with this card other than the fact that he is undersized. And how much is he going for? Probably not worth that price again, I would say. So Evan Mobley, this is a card that I have matched up against a few times, and people that use him, man, cannot green with him. Now, if you can green with this card, I think he can be one of the best Invincibles in the game. No doubt about it, because his movement's good, his dribbling's good. It's just, again, kind of like with Giannis, just an iffy release, but if you can get used to him, used to his release, that is, this card can be a monster for you. And he is the first card where I'm going to say, you know, if he's under 500 KMT, which I don't really think that he will be by the time these end, but if you can get Invincible Evan Mobley for under 500K, he may be worth it. Donovan Mitchell, undersized point guard. Kristaps, is he still really expensive? Yeah, well over 500K, so I don't know if he's really worth it, but he's going to be able to do everything at an elite level on both ends of the floor, man. Kristaps has always got a good release, which again he does this year. Going to be able to handle the ball a little bit for you. Going to be able to stop cards like Big Z, Yao, Wemby. So that is obviously huge because he's got some really good height, man. But yeah, this card is really, really good. Don't think he's worth his price, though. Hondo, kind of a little bit of a shame with Hondo. He is a little bit taller than the undersized point guards that we talked about. He's 6'5", plays maybe just a slight bit taller than 6'5", but he just doesn't have the cheesy release and dribble moves that he's had in the past. It kind of sucks, man. Make Hondo great again. That is what we are going to go with him, and he is really cheap probably still, but I don't think he's just not really very good of a card. And then these two cards are interesting, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. What I will say about Jason Tatum is if he had Jaylen Brown's positions, shooting guard, point guard, he would be amazing, man, because this card gets vastly overlooked. I think it's because, I don't know if it's because of his position. I don't know if it's because people hate Jason Tatum. I'm definitely not a Jason Tatum lover, but this card is really, really good. I think all of the Jason Tatum cards have been good this year. It's just the fact that he's a power forward, small forward. He's not really playable in a 5-on-5 setting, but this card can cook for you in park, man. There's no doubt about that. So I really think, I mean, he can do everything for you. Really, the only flaw that he has is he is extremely undersized for the 3 or the 4 at 6'8". And he plays, I don't know, plays probably right at about 6'8", but he's too undersized for those two positions. But this card will be able to do everything for you if you want a card for like park. And if you're running him, you know, as your point guard in park, you cannot go wrong. And if you can get him for like 300K or so, I think he might be worth it. I really do. Jaylen Brown, though, kind of a little bit underwhelming. Just not really the best release, not the greatest movement for Invincible. I think Jason Tatum's a way better card, just as an overall card. Really not my favorite card with this Jaylen Brown right here. He's probably pretty cheap, but yeah, I just don't think that he's really worth picking up. This Invincible Blake, man, is not very good. I will tell you that right now. There's none on the auction house right now, but this card has got a really, really baited release for an Invincible. It's really, really slow for an Invincible. I mean, he's going to lock it down defensively at the small forward position if that's kind of what you need and you want to get Blake from this week's event. I don't blame you. But his release, man, his release is really, 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 really bad. So That's really all that you need to know about Blake Griffin. And then Kevin McHale, Rudy Gay, if they're cheap, I mean, they're both decent options, but nothing like too crazy. I know that I kind of skipped over Kevin McHale, but yeah, both those cards. If you missed out on them on the event, if you can get them for like just above 100K or something, maybe not too bad, but they're both kind of just mid, is how I would describe them. Rudy Gay is going to be really good on the defensive end. He's got an okay release. It's a release that some people like, some people don't like. I don't mind it. But he's going to lock down on the defensive end. He's going to be pretty. I think Rudy Gay, actually, if you would have asked me like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have said Kevin McHale's the way better card. But I think at this point in time, I think Rudy Gay's a little bit better. Kevin McHale's a card that really, I thought he was going to be like one of the best small forwards in the game when I got him out of the event, but he just really isn't, man. It's just something with his movements feels a little bit off. His release is not my favorite. The release looks way better than it feels, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. Zach Edey could be the best Invincible in the game. This card is an absolute cheeseball, man. Just cheeseball release, cheeseball height. Going to be able to do everything on both ends of the floor at an elite level. If you have the MT to pick this card up, I can't tell you not to, man, because this card is absolutely insane. John Morant, undersized point guard. Joe Johnson is kind of in that category with Rudy Gay, where he's going to give you more on the offensive end than Rudy Gay will, but less on the defensive end. Kind of, again, just a really mid-tier option. He's going for, well, you could probably get him for under 200K at this point, I would guess, but I still don't really think he's worth it. Now, Paul Millsap. If Paul Millsap was a shooting guard point guard, which I don't really think that that was ever going to happen, but if he was, it's kind of like with Jason Tatum, man. He'd be a pretty good option because Paul Millsap is pretty decent. Good on the defensive end, good movement, pretty decent release, kind of an interesting release, one that might divide some opinions, but I think even at the shooting guard position, man, this card can be really, really good for you. And I think he can be really good for you in a park setting as well. Yeah, if you can get him for under 200K, man, I'm not going to tell you not to because this card's pretty decent. Invincible LeBron, one of the best Invincibles in the entire game. We know what we're getting with LeBron. We are going to get elite level defense, animations that no other players are going to have as far as with rim running, dribbling, pretty much everything as far as animations go. He just gets animations that no other player gets. Same with Giannis. So, yeah, this is an elite card. Probably not worth his price. Yeah, I don't think I'd pay over $1 million for him. But again, I mean, if you're a huge LeBron fan, you want Invincible LeBron, I can't, tell you not to get him. Invincible Chris Paul, absolutely horrible, super undersized. This Invincible Mark Eaton is a little bit, he's not as good as he should be. He's got maxed out stats, but he doesn't feel like his speed is maxed out. His movement's not very good. He's kind of a card that I would avoid. I really would. I don't think on paper, this card looks like he should be unbelievable. He looks like he should be kind of like even an equivalent to Zach Edey, but he just absolutely is not, man. He gets plucked a lot, which he shouldn't because of his stats. His movement feels off. His release really, his release is okay, but yeah, this card, I would probably avoid him. I think Zach Edey might be more expensive, but I think Zach Edey's definitely the better option as far as if you want like a 7'4", 7'3" type of card. I think you should avoid Mark Eaton. Patrick Ewing, how much is he going for? Yeah, well over 200K. Definitely not worth it for Patrick Ewing at this point. If you got him free from the event, he's a good option. He's not too bad at the power forward position, not too bad in a park setting either. He's just going to be solid at everything, but he's not like elite at anything, if that makes sense. This Latrell Sprewell, I don't really know too much about this card. I've never played against this card. I don't know. But, on paper, we're looking at a 6'5" point guard who usually Latrell Sprewell's player model seems a little bit taller than 6'5". He's probably going to be decent on the defensive end. Usually, Latrell Sprewell cards get good defensive animations. He might be okay. If you can get him for like 100K, he could be okay. But I'm not going to speak on it too much more because I just really don't know anything about this card. So that's kind of what we got going with that. Invincible Shaq, again, going to do everything very, very well for you on the court, but his release, man. Invincible and GOAT Shaq and 100 overall Shaq, people use them and they cannot green with them. Not even wide open. So just keep that in mind with a card like Shaq. That's really his only issue. Going to give you everything else on the court at an absolutely elite level, but a release that is going to be very hard to green consistently with. Invincible Magic kind of falls really in the same tier as Ben Simmons, where he normally does. Not really going to give you elite shot creating or anything like that. Kind of a little bit of not the greatest release, just like with Ben Simmons, but he is going to give you height. He's going to give you amazing defense at the point guard position. Solid option, but not going to be able to light someone up for 50 type of card. So that's kind of what I would say there. Invincible James Worthy's a little bit underrated. He's a little bit underrated for sure. I think this card is better than people give him credit for. Let's see what his price is at. I think if you can get him for under 200K, he's a really decent option at the small forward position. Solid release, going to be decent on the defensive end. Player build's a little small for his height at 6'9", but he's going to give you, I mean, he can create a shot his own shot a little bit too, which, I mean, I don't really see a whole ton of flaws with this card. People like to shaft on him, but I really don't think he's too bad. Invincible Kyle Kuzma, he's just really, again, falls into that very mid category. Doesn't really have the best player build for the defensive end. He is 6'9", again, just like James Worthy, but I really think that James Worthy is the better card. I really sincerely do. I think that Kyle Kuzma he just doesn't get as good of animations as some other 3s and 4s. He really is just, I mean, he's got a decent release, but it's nothing like to write home about, I wouldn't say. And again, his player model just isn't really the best through the defensive end. So I don't know. I think Kyle Kuzma kind of falls in with Rudy Gay, Joe Johnson, kind of pretty mid, unfortunately. Now, this card right here, this Lamar Odom, is definitely not mid. This card at the point guard position is an absolute cheese ball. And I would say if you can get him, honestly, for even like under 500K, just with, who was the other card that I said that about? Evan Mobley. This card is insane at the point guard position at 6'10". Got a super good release. Going to lock down on the defensive end. This could be, besides maybe LeBron, the best invincible point guard in the entire game. So, yeah, if you use Lamar Odom, if you want to pick up Lamar Odom, I don't blame you because this card is an absolute cheese ball. Invincible T-Mac, very solid. Going to have that really high release point that makes T-Mac so good. He's going to be really good with the ball in his hands, dribbling-wise, shot creating, going to be a really good rim runner. Going to give you pretty much as much on the offensive end as a card could give you, to be honest, besides like cheese ball height. But yeah, he's going to be able to clamp up on the defensive end too. This Invincible T-Mac is an absolutely insanely good option at the shooting guard position, man. So if you got him, you guys know Invincible T-Mac, cheese ball of a card. This Invincible Dwight Howard, we'll talk about him for a little bit. I think he's too small to run at the center. You can get away with him at the power forward, but this card as well, man, is better than people like to give him credit for. He's actually, for a center, very good with the ball in his hands. It seems like he gets really good animations when it comes to rim running and attacking the rim. Gonna be able to, I think, lock it down at the power forward position. Definitely don't play this card at center, but this card can pretty much do it all. A little bit of a mid release, not like one of the most elite releases in the game or anything like that, but this card can give you what you need at the power forward position, man. And I think if you can get him for like under 200K, definitely worth picking him up. I think Invincible Dwight Howard is an underrated card in this game. Invincible Luka, kind of a cheeseball type card. If you're a dribble head, this card is going to be really good for you. He's going to kind of kill you a little bit on the defensive end. Just really doesn't have a very good player build for the defensive end. Doesn't really get very good animations on the defensive end. But as far as offensively, if you know how to dribble really well, this card can absolutely be the best player on your team. There's no doubt about that. He's kind of one of those type of cards. Super cheeseball release, super cheesy dribbling. Really good card. Invincible Dr. J, I have no idea why you would pick up this card when the GOAT Dr. J is available for level 40. He's going to be solid, but I mean, I just don't understand why you would do that. Invincible Mello, really, really solid. Not going to do anything at an absolutely elite tier, but this card's just solid at everything, man. And you can't go wrong with him being free, running him at your shooting guard position. Cade Cunningham, not a very good card. I think that he's actually worse than Ben Simmons. I think that he's worse than Magic. and they just didn't give him very good animations, man, which kind of sucks because this card, when he was kind of announced the day before, people thought that this could have a chance at being, one of the best point guards in the game, and he's just not. I think you're better off running Ben Simmons. I think you're better off running Magic. I think you're much, much, much better better off running Lamar Odom. This card just ain't it, man. I would avoid Kate Cunningham, which kind of sucks because they could have made him way better than he is. Invincible Vince Carter. He's going to give you elite level offense, but not really very good defense. You can kind of compare him to Invincible Michael Jordan, but he's going to give you a significantly worse defense than Michael Jordan and maybe just slightly better offense. So I think you're better off with a card like Michael Jordan, and there's better options at the shooting guard position for sure than both of those cards. Like, I think even a card like Paul Millsap is going to be a better shooting guard for you guys than either one of those cards. So please, please, please do not go out and pay a ridiculous amount for Vince Carter because he's just not worth it. Invincible Chris Bosh, again, kind of a card that's a little bit disappointing. He kind of falls in the same category as like Kevin McHale, Rudy Gay. Going to be a very, very solid small forward, but just not really anything that just jumps off of the page, man. He's kind of and I don't know why you would pay like 500 KMT for this card when Kevin McHale exists. I just really don't, because he might be a little bit better than Kevin McHale. In fact, I think that he is, but he's not enough better to where you should be paying 500K to replace Kevin McHale if you got Kevin McHale for free. So that's what I think about him. Scotty Barnes is, again, one of the most underrated cards in the game. If you can get his release down, his height at 6'7", he plays bigger than 6'7" at the point guard position. If you have like Lamar Odom and Scotty Barnes as your 2 point guards, you're 1000% set for the rest of the year. This card you can absolutely cook with. He's got really, really good dribbling. His release is not as good as Lamar Odom's, so he's not necessarily quite as good as Lamar Odom on the offensive end, but I think he's actually better on the defensive end with the animations he gets and such. So this card is really, really good. And people like to hate on this card. I really don't understand why. I don't see what's wrong with him. I think Scotty Barnes is honestly one of the best point guards in the game. Then we move on to James Harden. Kind of just, I don't really know why you would use James Harden when Luka exists. Luka's just a better version of James Harden. He gives you 2 inches extra of height, probably going to be a little bit better on the defensive end. Again, a dribble head card. If you really like James Harden, though, man, I mean, by all means, go ahead and use him. But I think this is one of the, probably on the worser end of Invincible cards. I just don't really see it with James Harden. I don't think he quite falls into the super small point guard category because he's right at 6'5", but I think you're gonna he's gonna get cooked on the defensive end a little bit just because of his height. He'll be able to create his own shot well, but again, I think Luka's just a way better version of James Harden as far as what they give you as individual cards. This Amen Thompson card is pretty good, I will say. He is 6'7" at the point guard position. Not going to be a crazy good release. I don't think he's as good as Scotty Barnes or Lamar Odom, but he's a really, really good option, man. He's going to lock it down in the defensive end. If you have this card, you can not go wrong with using him at the point guard position. He's going to pretty much give you everything you need. He's not going to give you a cheese ball release, but he can create his own shot for sure. He's going to be a pretty good rim running point guard as well. And then again, just really, really good animations on the defensive end. Really, really good defender. I don't think you can go wrong with Amen Thompson. I really, really don't. Yao Ming, I mean, Yao Ming's Yao Ming. Absolute cheeseball just because of his height. If you have Yao Ming, I think, Yao Ming, Wemby, whatever version of those 2 cards that you have are the 2 best cards in the game. I mean, there's just no question about it. So if you have Invincible Yao, you are a lucky man. Gary Payton, absolutely horrendous. One of the worst Invincibles in the game. Sean Kemp kind of falls into the category with Chris Bosh and Kevin McHale as well. All very similar cards, slightly above average at everything, but just not really special at anything at all on the court. Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is definitely probably a top 3 Invincible in the game. I think you could group together, well, I think it's Wemby, Yao, Chet Holmgren, Zach Edey. Those are probably the 4 best Invincibles in the game, unless I'm forgetting someone. But yeah, this Chet Holmgren card, He's going to be overpriced again. He's probably going to go for close to $1 million, if not over $1 million when he ends. But really the only complaint you could have with Chet Holmgren is his very skinny player build. But, I mean, if you're playing in a 5-on-5 setting, running him as small forward, I mean, it's absolute cheese, man. He gives you everything on the court besides lack of a good player build. And he gives you height, so it kind of makes up for it a little bit. Cheese ball release, cheese ball dribbling moves, cheese ball on the defensive end. You can't go wrong with this card. This card really has no flaws. Invincible Ray Allen, very, very disappointing card. I don't know what they've done with Ray Allen because Ray Allen cards used to be so good. But 100 overall Ray Allen wasn't very good either, and this Invincible Ray Allen just is not it either. So, kind of sucks. Invincible Wemby, I mean, he falls right in the category with Yao, Chet, and Zach Edey. Just going to be an absolute cheeseball because of his height. Going to be able to shoot over everybody. Going to be able to handle the ball if you need him to. Going to be able to do absolutely everything. I don't think he's worth his price. Now, I think as far as value goes, how much is Yao? Over $2 million. And then Wemby is, there's no Invincible Wemby's even on the auction house. So, your probably best bet is to try and get like 100 overall Yao or 100 overall Wemby. But if you're looking at choosing between Invincible Yao, Invincible Wemby, Invincible Chet, and Invincible Zach Edey, I would probably go with Zach Edey because I think he gives you almost just as much as Wemby and Yao does, and he's going to be significantly cheaper. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not quite as good as Yao and Wemby, but I think that Edey, if you're looking at, spending multiple millions of MT on a card, that's who I would get, is Invincible Zach Edey. Invincible Kawhi, very, very mid. Very, very disappointing, just like with Ray Allen as well. They used to both give both these cards Ray Allen base, and Ray Allen base used to be special, man. But it's just, this Kawhi card is not very good, which kind of sucks. This Manu Ginobili card also very, very kind of falls in the category of James Harden. Like, he's going to give you offense, but why would you use him? Like, why would you, when Devin Booker's free, why would you use Invincible Manu or Invincible Harden? Like, there's just no point. And the same thing goes with Anthony Edwards as well. Just too undersized, man. Invincible Devin Booker, again, I mean, if you want just a pure offensive point guard, he's going to give you what you need. And I'm sure you guys know that. I'm sure all of you guys have used him because everyone should have him for free. But yeah, good. If you need just a pure offensive point guard, man, he is going to give you what you need. Going to get cooked on the defensive end, though. There's no doubt about that. Zach LaVine, he is a card that you can definitely cheese with. He's going to have better dribbling animations than Devin Booker. But other than that, there's really nothing that he gives you over Devin Booker besides better dribbling, is what I would say. So I don't think he's going to be worth his price. Pretty dope card. Like, I would understand if you did want to pick him up. He's a pretty sick card, but I just don't really see any point in picking up Zach LaVine. Dame Lillard, undersized point guard, just not very good, too small. Again, a card that looks very, very dope. Let's make small point cards great again, man. Arvydas Sabonis, much, much better card than this Mark Eaton. That is what I will tell you. Got a really, really good release. Going to give you that cheese ball height. Again, him and Mark Eaton, of course, maxed out speed stats, but they both don't feel like they have maxed out speed stats, which kind of, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, this Arvydas Sabonis, again, if you need a tall center, let's see how much he's going for. He's going to give you everything that you need. And I would say that he might honestly fall in the category with his other four guys. He's probably the worst out of the five. If you're looking at, again, Holmgren, Edey, Wemby, Yao Ming, he might be the fifth best for sure. And I think that he's definitely much better than this Mark Eaton card. Maybe not by a super significant amount. I might be gassing it up a little bit, but I think that this card is definitely solid. And if you have him, keep using him, man, because he's a W of a card. Steph Curry, horrible, too undersized. Klay Thompson's decent. At 6'6", he's going to give you very, very good offense, very, very, very good release. He's actually much better off the dribble than clay cards usually are. If you got this card for free from the event, you were absolutely cooking, man, because this card is super, super good at the point guard position. Way, way better than a card like Devin Booker. He's kind of like, if you compare him to Invincible MJ, going to give you slightly worse defense than MJ, but much better offense. So this card's really, really good. Now we look at Chris Webber, and I actually think that Chris Webber is the best out of like the versions of, because he does fall into this category. He falls into the category with Blake Griffin, Kevin McHale, Chris Bosh, cards like that. He falls into this category as a power forward, small forward that's going to have good height for the small forward position. I think he's the best out of all those cards. I really, really do. With his release, what he gives you on the offensive end, I just think that he has the edge on cards like that. Now, this card is super rare. He's going to be going for a ton of MT, so do I think he's worth his price? No. But I think that this card does get slept on a little bit, because I think that Chris Webber is definitely a bucket getter, man. So don't sleep on him. LaMelo Ball is a card that, especially when he released, man, got extremely gassed up. Now, of course, we've got a ton of cheeseball Invincibles, just cheeseball cards in general since that. But everyone that I've seen use LaMelo Ball, man, just absolutely sucks with him. Now, I'm sure if you were a dribblehead, like the type of guy that likes to use like Luka, stuff like that, you could be very, very good with this LaMelo Ball card, but I just don't see it, man. I just don't think this card's very good. I think Luka's a much better card. So and I'm sure that he's still expensive. If you get him out of your free pack or something, he'll be all right, but I just don't see it with the LaMelo Ball. People say his release is like this lightning quick, just cheese ball release, but it's really not. It's kind of actually slower than it should be. So and he's going to get cooked on the defensive end as well. So I don't know about LaMelo Ball anymore, man. Actually, maybe the first Invincible in this video. I mean, I know there's a ton of small point guards that were never good, but he might be the first one that's actually like just genuinely outdated. In Invincible LaMelo Ball there. So then we have Invincible Draymond Green. He is probably what I would use to describe him as just a worse Scottie Barnes. He's gonna give you kind of similar. He actually has like his player build and stuff feels similar to Scottie Barnes. His animations and stuff kind of feel similar to Scottie Barnes, but he does not have as good a release as Scottie Barnes. He's not going to be able to create a shot as well. So I would say he's just a worse version of Scottie Barnes. So that's how I would describe Draymond Green. But yeah, that covers all of the auctionable Invincibles, man. So hopefully you guys can use this advice in picking up some Invincibles for your team. Make sure to wait until Friday, because if they do what everyone kind of presumes that they are going to do, all of these cards are going to go down in value. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on the video before you head on out of here, man. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next vid.